Good morning, guys. Let's take a quick look at the market. Like always, my name is Jose Najarro, and here we're going to take a look at recent stock market news. The most popular, I think, today is just the overall right. Chinese stocks are taking a huge hit after a few businesses have kind of gotten like cybersecurity alerts from the government there. They kind of have to stop downloads on certain applications. What's going on, David? How's it going? Give me one quick second, guys. Let me just finish setting everything up on my phone. Make sure everything is running properly. But David Becker, how's it going, man? Hope everybody had a happy 4th. If you're here in the United States, if you're not here in the United States, hope everybody had a good weekend. Unfortunately, it's gonna be a 4-day investing week, but there's so much news out there, right? So let's see what we can dig into today. So first, let's just start off with the overall market. So what are we seeing? Dow right now is wrong one. Dow right now is down about 0.42%. Nasdaq is pretty much flat, and the S&P is pretty much flat. Everything seems to be pretty quiet right now. If we take a look at the overall maps, it's a little bit different, right? We have Amazon is up 2% today. That's probably the biggest winner right now. Apple is also up 1%. What else do we have? Nothing too crazy. Oracle up 1.85%. We do see a lot of red in the financial sector right now in banks. That's where I'm pretty much seeing healthcare. A lot of industrials pretty red. Energy is also pretty red. So it seems like the only things green today are the overall tech. It's the overall tech market, right? And there's a little bit of red and green in between everything. David, nice, good. Yeah, my weekend was great. Had a happy 4th. Spent time with the family. Spent time with the wife. Kind of relaxed. Did a few videos as well. So it was a pretty quiet. It was a pretty great weekend. And I'm coming back super pumped up for the rest of the week. The biggest thing right now is U.S. listed shares of China companies drop on fears of more crackdown. I don't know if you guys did watch the video I posted yesterday. Yeah. I mean, a nice amount of red, right, David? My overall portfolio. Let's take a quick look. What's up? We have Space up 4%. CrowdStrike, right? CrowdStrike is one of the few cybersecurity companies that I do own. Up 5%, right? We've seen over the weekend there was another cyber attack in a big franchise store that kind of had closed down about 600 to 700 stores due to the attack, and now they have the ransom of, I think, 40 or 50, I forget, some ridiculous millions of dollars. So CrowdStrike still one I enjoy for the long term of things. Right now the stock price does seem a bit overextended, so there could be a pullback. So right now CrowdStrike, if I was to enter, it would definitely be a small position. We have Square up 3% right now. I mean, the traffic this past, right, Square is both for, I'm going to say, an opening play and a close play. This past weekend, right, there was so much traffic everywhere. Just to go to my parents' house, to my in-laws' house, the amount of traffic out there, people are out and about now. So I do believe it's going to be a great summer for businesses. So I'm guessing Square is very happy with that type of news as well. We have Okta, another type of cybersecurity, more of authentication method though, up 2%. So we see a lot of, somehow Zoom is also up 2%. Shopify is killing it. Nvidia, man, Nvidia does not stop. $830 right now, 1.3. This is one that I still believe in the short terms. There's a lot more added risk right now of a pullback. But at the moment, it hasn't given it, right? This is the number one position in my portfolio right now. No intentions of selling, but I do believe there is that higher risk of a pull down. We have Sorens killing it as well, 1.3%. But then we can see most of my red stocks are in the Chinese market, right? We have PDD down 6.5%. We have Huya down 5%. We have JD down 4%. Some of these stocks, right, I've kind of talked about it a lot. Some people don't like investing in Chinese stocks pretty much for what's happening right now, right? There is a few apps that kind of got cracked down over the weekend where the Chinese government is saying, hey, we have to do some form of cybersecurity go through. In the moment, there's going to be no one new can download or apply to your applications. People who are currently using it already, they can continue to use it. Yesterday, I did a video on some stocks ARK was purchasing. One of those stocks was called, was ticker BZ, and that was one of the stocks that was kind of affected by it. And then we have the recent IPO, BB, I believe, or I forget what was DD, that actually tanked, right? It's down about 20%, I believe. Let's take a quick look. Yeah, DD is down 22% right now after that crackdown. That is insane. Some investors are a bit excited. They're like, hey, Chinese stocks are on sale right now. There's always that added risk, but I still don't mind having some form of exposure, right? I don't have big exposure in China, but at the same time, I'm not gonna stop investing there. It's always good to, if you want to go, understand the risk, and if you understand the risk, limit some form of your exposure. One of the stocks I'm still looking over there is gonna be Tencent. I normally buy on Thursdays. I'm not gonna lie, I hope it stays red like this till then. Maybe I wouldn't even mind a bigger sale for the short term of things, right? So Tencent is still, even with all this news, Tencent is one I don't mind increasing my exposure a little bit more. What else do we have? Apps I thought was trending too. And does anybody have any questions? Anybody have any stocks they want to take a look at? How are you guys feeling about the Chinese market right now? Is this a market you normally don't invest in? Do you guys have some stocks in there right now? A bit worried? Share some of your thoughts on the comments, guys. What else do we see? So this week earnings are a bit slow. There's not much right now. So tomorrow we have WD-40, the OG company. On Thursday we have Levi's. I don't know why I called it Levi's. We have Levi's, but again, not much happening this week. I do believe the upcoming week is when real earnings start again. That would be the week of the 13th. Yes, that's when Monday we have about 79 companies before open and 93 after. So yep, it does seem like next week is when we start back earnings season. Pretty excited. Normally we start seeing the big banks. I don't think we're gonna have any big names outside of banks. Maybe if you are like banks and airlines do go next week. I want to see if there's any big tech. TSM is actually gonna do next Thursday. That one might be pretty interesting. Besides that, I don't think I'll be looking at anything. I might just kind of do a quick brief on the banks. It's good to see how consumers are spending. What do we have? Domingos, what's going on, Mendes? Thoughts on Doju and Huya? I do think there were talks about, recently, Huya merger is getting ready to be kind of blocked. So Chinese antitrust regulator to block Tencent's video game merger. Sources says, I don't know if this has been agreed on. So it seems like it has. The merger is not happening. China's antitrust watchdog to block Tencent's merger of Huya Dojo. Okay, no, it hasn't been announced yet. This is just according to sources familiar with the matter. So it hasn't. It's not official yet, but it does seem like that is gonna happen, Mendes. So the merger won't happen. At the same time, I honestly like Huya before the merger, right? I've been bullish on Huya before I even thought the merger was happening. I did kind of say that the merger was something Tencent would have planned, and they did. But at the long term of things, I'm still bullish on Huya. I still have it in my portfolio, not intending of selling anytime soon. I am trying to increase my overall Chinese exposure. I think I might start with other companies like Tencent and JD before I enter back into Huya. JD is one I've been liking a lot recently and wouldn't mind increasing my exposure. Oh, Leo entered JD at $77.06. Nice. I actually think that's actually a good price back then, right, JD? In the short term of things, obviously, right, Leo, things look a bit scary. I mean, I do think right now it's just building a nice amount of volume. But you've entered at 77, believe it's a bargain. Then now it's even a bigger bargain. Always can't time the bottom though. Exactly, right, Leo? The bottom can't be timed, and that's what ends up, I want to say, creating a nice amount of buying opportunities, because sometimes people get really scared out. They think the bottom continues to go down, they sell out, and then things turn around. So I do believe trying to time, people that time the market sometimes give us long-term investors some buying opportunities. So is there any stock you guys want to take a look at today? Um, let's see what else do we have. So earnings, nothing crazy in earnings this week. Next week is gonna be a bit exciting. Let's see. AMC says it won't seek shareholders' approval to boost shares outstanding. They're really trying to grab um, a nice amount of money right now as their stock price is still high. See, so US, we talked about that. Weibo, China's Twitter's rival, plans to go private amid tech crackdown. If you're going to invest, so right now this is what you're seeing, right? A lot in the news. You're seeing a lot of what I want to say fear talk. Obviously, there's a reason behind it, right? There is definitely an increase of Chinese tech crackdown, but I believe this kind of overall way the media sometimes tends to play it just increases that fear a lot more, and that fear continues to give even better buying opportunities. It gives you more of a dip. So if one ever wants to increase some form of exposure and just wants to have some taste, I want to say probably now isn't too bad. Not advice, just my overall thoughts. So what else do we have? I want to see this. Nintendo's unveils new video game console that launches this fall as chip shortage continues to plague supplies. Oh, that is crazy, right? The overall chip shortage is still affecting everybody. I think there was even a car company this week that said, who was it? Was it Jaguar? I forget what it was. But there was a big car maker saying that they're still expected chip shortage. The Nintendo Switch OLED model ships October 8th and will cost $350. I mean, this is insane. Freaking Nintendo really knows how to reuse the same game, the same console over and over again, right? They have the Switch, then they have the Switch Lite. Now they're gonna have the Switch OLED. So this is pretty funny. So Leo, let's see. What did you ask? Do I own? And guys, while you're here, make sure to hit the thumbs up, right? It definitely helps with the overall channel. If you guys want me to take a look at any stocks, feel free to post. Do you own Amazon? Looks like it's breaking out quite strong for a mega cap stock. So no, Leo, I don't own Amazon. I used to have a small position, but I sold out just to increase my overall exposures in companies like Nvidia. But Amazon is one that I've seen. There's this move, right? I mean, I'm not much of a technical guy, but you can see when stock prices, they've been pretty quiet. Amazon, in theory, has been super quiet since July of 2020. So for about 12 months now, it has been kind of quiet, just been trading around this area. It seems like you mentioned to finally have broken out of this level right here. Right, we tested here, there, broken out. So it's time to see. But this is why I'm excited about a lot of companies. One of the stocks, for example, Activision, right? Activision, I want to say since November, it hasn't really moved much. What else do we have? AMD. AMD was in a similar style, right? Since July 24th, it hadn't really moved much. It kind of broke down and then moved back in. But then out of nowhere, AMD is killing that. I didn't even know it was at $94. Another one with similar pattern that I can remember would probably be Netflix, maybe. Netflix is one I don't own. But again, you can see Netflix. I'm not much of a technical, but I do look at it to some extent. Netflix, I want to say since June of 2020 or July, it hasn't really moved much. It's kind of been in this kind of trend. So I do believe earnings will be this upcoming earnings will be the reason it falls off or goes over. But a lot of those companies have been kind of following the similar trend that Amazon has been doing. And it's definitely good to keep at least an eye of it. You don't even have to understand technicals, but just to understand, hey, this stock price, right? Even if you're not a technical guy, you can really see the stock price, even though it's been volatile in forms of where it's been at, it hasn't really moved much. So just a few names that have kind of I've keeping track that have done similar style. We have Unity at $107 right now. Pretty good. We saw it was overextended, kind of seeing a nice pullback. So guys, if you want me to take a look at any stocks, feel free to post on the comments and let me know. We can definitely look at some. Right now we have we have a lot of movements, right? Like we saw DD is down 22%. Chinese market is getting hit hard. How is Baba doing? What is let's see, Baba is one that I mean, pretty strong company. it's really, I want to say, right, I don't have Baba, but it does look pretty attractive at this levels. This is one I wouldn't mind buying right now, right? What else do we have? So we have Baba. What's another big player here? We have JD. JD is down a nice amount as well. I don't know many. Normally with Chinese stocks, if I do kind of get into this market, I usually only try to buy like the big players. I got burnt once with kind of investing in small micro caps in China. And that was Lunkin Coffee. I don't know if you guys are familiar with it. It kind of it was a small company, so most of the times I tend to stay with some big boys like Tencent, um, Tencent, Baba, JD are the ones I normally take a look at. So Leo, your top Chinese stock to add at the moment. So if I did talk about it, Leo, this past Saturday I did my weekly purchase videos of the stocks I'm planning on buying this upcoming week. And guys, while you're here, make sure to hit the thumbs up. My number one, I would say, would be Tencent, right? Tencent has it one that owns a lot of different companies. They own a lot of different stocks. So this would be my number one Chinese stock to add at the moment. At the same time, one has to remember that this is actually a company that owns a lot of digital ecosystem. It's known for its digital ecosystem. So a lot of tech stocks, and it does seem like the crackdown is really affecting the tech market right now in China. So I could see how Tencent might take a little more hit than some of these other stocks out there. But still, I do enjoy them the most. They have huge games, Epic Games, Riot Games, and stuff. What's going on? What's going on, SB? How's it going? Good morning here from. Hope you're doing good. Again, thanks for the support, SB. I appreciate it 100%. So you got out. You left. You got out of Lee, Xpeng, and Neo. So you got out. All those were Chinese EV markets, right? SB. Not is everything that's happening there kind of scaring you? It's kind of scaring you out. China's growing up. Yeah. 40. It's definitely. It's definitely pretty scary, right? I think I'm gonna do a video on them. So you're up 40% on them. So congratulations, right? You're what you're doing is you're seeing a bit of, in my mind, right? This is what it seems like you're doing. You seem a little bit of the risk for it, so you might as well take the gains now. And as things clear up, you're gonna re-enter. Oh, yep, that's pretty much what you said. Taking your gains for now, will re-enter in a couple of weeks. So best of luck. Good morning, Polly. How's it going, Polly? How's everything? So SB, is there? What are you thinking of using those funds that you kind of cleared up? Are you kind of just waiting a little bit more for something, or are you gonna use them on some other purchases at the moment? And may I ask another thing I wanted to ask XP? How much exposure were those three companies for you? Were they a big position in your portfolio? Um, so and I think we talked about this on Friday. Was it Friday or Thursday? You added to Apple and Google some nice. So those are some strong players, right? For sure. The overall market, right? We saw right now the only thing that's really taking a hit are pretty much Chinese stocks with the overall merger. And we have cybersecurity companies like CrowdStrike and Okta that does with. Oh yeah, you did mention, right? That's what we did mention, that it was a big position of your portfolio. So one smart thing would be to just, one thing that could do was close out and make it a smaller percentage. But with everything that happened, ended up closing instead. So best of luck. What else do we have? So Unity is up 107. It's at 107. C Limited is at $277. So again, guys, like I mentioned, there's no major earnings this week. Earnings are going to be pretty quiet. Next week is when we have a little bit more earnings coming up. The overall market is still, it seems only the big players are up right now, right? Everything is red except Amazon killing it at 3%. Apple up at 2%. We have, what else do we have? Oracle up at 2% as well. Microsoft up at pretty much flat. Nvidia and AFCO are probably the only semiconductors that are up right now. So SB, you asked, what do I think about space? So space is a very small position in my portfolio. This is one that I consider a speculative play, right? SB, This is one that's very, very volatile. At levels right now, personally, I wouldn't buy. That doesn't mean it's a bad investment. I just think it's a bit overextended right now. And there's more risk to reward, I want to say, in form of short-term volatility. In long term, I'm not. I still do own shares of space. I do believe it's a small position, less than 2% of my portfolio. I'm just happy. Having it. But again, my buying was around $17, maybe even less. That's my that's my cost average on it. Right now, I personally wouldn't invest in space, but again, that's not advice. And the stock can continue to go up. I do believe right now there's a lot of movement, especially as the not the CEO Richard. He's not the CEO. He's the chairman, I believe. Um, he is he's flying soon, right? So I think this stock is just going to be very, very volatile in there. So David Becker, all right, we got a stock we want to take a look at. Board member, yes. On the 11th, right? So I do think SB in the overall movement volatility, this is just going to be a very popular stock until then. Especially if it does really well, I can continue to see the volatility move up and down. But I do believe there will be, in the long term of things, something very similar where it will pull down a nice amount. Again, not predictable. And David Becker, so you want to take a look at WGO? We'll take a look at WGO in a bit, but I actually just saw RM. What's going on, RM? So you asked, Abs, would you buy at current levels? So RM, I actually just did a video on my channel yesterday. Let's see, Jose Najarro. Dude. So I just recently did a video. So every single week I do the 4 stocks I'm planning on buying this week. Around there, I list 4 stocks that I like right now. One of those stocks is apps. This was 2 days ago. So apps, I buy every Thursday. No special reason. There's no special reason why I buy Thursday. It's just the day I get my money into my account. It's a routine. Apps is one of those stocks I wouldn't mind adding right now. And at these levels, I really do like it. All right, again, not advice, just my opinion. So what do you think? Unpredictable. What do you think of KO day trade for today? So unpredictable. I'm not a day trader. I'm more of a long-term investor, right? I accumulate my wealth through there. Not as fun as probably you if you are day trading. I personally, I just don't have the time to day trade. I'd rather just research companies and stuff like that. So no opinion on that, unpredictable. As long-term investment, I mean, KO, Coca-Cola has been a monster, right? I mean, I don't think I've ever heard of an unhappy investor to have Coca-Cola in their account. I don't, but it's just not my investment style. David Baker, let's take a look at WGO. Let's see, WGO, Winnebago Industries. So first, let's start off technos. The stock price definitely not overextended, so I'm happy to see that, right? Plenty of volume here for sure. Let's take a quick look at Simply Wall Street and see what's in store for this company. So this is, what's the ticker? WGO. So first I want to understand what they do. So they manufacture and sell recreation vehicles and marine products primarily for use in leisure travel and outdoor recreations. So let's go to their websites. I want to see some of their products. I'm guessing they sell like jet skis, like ATVs and stuff like that. I'm here in the East Coast. I don't do a lot of outdoors. So my apologies if this is such a big brand and I should kind of know about them. But so they do, let's see. Watch and share the foundations. So they sell, okay. They sell a nice amount of RVs and kind of vans. These are actually pretty cool. Okay, so I kind of get the style, the products they have, the brands. Chris Craft. Let's see what else they have here. Oh, this is pretty insane. Okay. Yeah, I don't have this kind of money, so more like RV vehicles and some fancy boats for sure. So that's what they have. Okay. Now I understand a little bit more about the market. Let's take a look. Future growth. This company is profitable in GAAP earnings. They are also positive in cash flow from operations. So fundamentally, they're looking pretty good. Company is not expected to grow much, 4.4%, but this is more of a mature company, it seems. At the same time, I definitely could see a market, right? I mean, especially now, I want to say as people have become, I feel due to COVID, people want to go out more, and right now, like that RV vehicles, that RV living is becoming more of a normal, to some extent, especially to the younger generation. I can kind of see this market growth. You can see overall this COVID kind of really did accelerate this company's revenue dramatically. If that continues, that can definitely be pretty good. Let's take a look in financial health. They have about $400 million in cash, $521 million in debt. So their balance sheet, even though they are a bit leveraged, is not that scary, right? Because I'm pretty sure most of their items are either long-term assets, the production facilities they have, or inventory. And if you add all them together, they're a lot bigger than the debt. They also pay a dividend, not a big dividend, but again, some investors might enjoy that. If we take a look, I want to take a quick look at ownership. Institutions own a good portion. So you can see, right, BlackRock owns 16.7%. The Vanguard owns 7.19%. Not much insiders own. The last thing I want to just take a quick look at is maybe they have WB Investors, what was it? WGO Investors Relations. I just want to take a quick look at their most recent earnings to see what type of growth they are seeing. So quarterly results, they saw record quarterly revenue driven by strong end consumer demand. So that was pretty good. RV market share continues rising to 12.5%. They are profitable. I want to see. So revenues grew 138% compared to the same time last year, and this is for the first quarter that ended this third quarter that ended May 29th of 2021. So this is actually recent earnings. Overall, things aren't looking too bad for this company. Even now, the most recent earnings, they're still pretty strong. So definitely seems like an interesting market for sure, David. Not a market I personally would invest in. Just not my style of business, right? Not my style of markets. But I can definitely see the growth, and I can see why investors would be excited about this company for sure. So let's say, would I be mad if it was, let's say, I think the easiest way, if someone forcefully bought this in my account, I wouldn't be mad about it. I wouldn't really worry about it. But I think within a year, if I had to hold it for a year, after that year was over, I personally would sell it just because it's not my investment style. But at the same time, I wouldn't be worried about owning it. So if there's any other stocks, feel free to let me know. If not, we can take a look at David Becker. He has another one. He wants to take a look at STLD. So if we take a look at STLD, this is Steel Dynamics, okay, in the industry. Right now, I want to say from its short, medium-term moving average, right, this has definitely, is definitely a bit overextended. It was overextended here, and you can see that overall correction and kind of pulled back. Even though it kind of pulled back to its short term, it's still pretty extended from its medium term. So I do believe there is higher risk in this stock right now. Let's also we should have done white charts. So let's pull up white charts for you, David Becker. Here we can take a look, and guys, feel free to post any stocks you guys want me to take a look at as well. So STLD. So David, and if you guys make sure to hit the thumbs up, it helps so much with the company. So future growth, this is, first let's see what they do. So Steel Dynamics operate as a steel producer and metal recycler in the United States. Future growth, again, this is a strong developed company already, profitable in earnings. They are positive in cash flow from operations. They're expected to grow their revenues within the next year strongly, I guess, as demand continues to build up. If we take a look at their financial health, they have about $1.2 billion in cash, $2.2 billion in inventory, physical assets. I'm pretty sure like their melters, their furnaces, and all that. They need to have a lot of assets like that. $3 billion in debt. Again, this is a company that is leveraged, but because they have such a strong fundamentals, I want to say it's not the worst thing. This is another one very similar, David. Not a market I personally would own. Fundamentals look okay, right? Nothing crazy, nothing amazing, both for this one and the other one. Nothing amazing, but they're not bad in my thoughts. Again, BlackRock owns a good portion here, 11.69%. I just want to take a quick look. So the first one was WGB, was it? Or WBG? What was it again? WGO. And the second one was STLD. They're both profitable. So I want to take a look at EV to EBITDA forward ratio, and let's do panel per security. And let's take a look at 3-year max to open image here. So right, WB right now, if you take a look at EV to EBITDA ratio, it's actually looking pretty cheap compared to where it's been in the past. So there's a lot of positivity for both WB and Steel Dynamics. Even though they do look a bit overextended, right, David? Their valuations, in formal valuation metrics, looks very, very cheap. Let me take a look at forward price to sales ratio, PE ratio forward. I'm pretty sure, yeah, you will see the exact same thing. So in forms of fundamentals, in forms of valuation metrics, they don't look too bad. Can you look at EBITDA for DD? We can do for sure. I think since it's such a new company, SB, it's a bit we probably won't have too much information here. So EBITDA, let's see, trailing 12 months. Yeah, there's not information here. This is too new of a company. EBITDA, it's actually negative EBITDA, so it doesn't seem like it doesn't make money at the moment. Actually, it does. So EBITDA quarterly. So quarterly was $1.08 billion on the most recent quarter. Let me just open up this image. Right, this is DD's quarterly, and this is on their most adjusted 1.083. So DD, I don't know too much about this company except just the overall news that has been happening on SSB, the overall crackdown in tech. So I really don't have much to say. So David Becker, I have STLD and I like the metal potential long term. A lot of people are definitely agreeing. So David, yeah, again, definitely not a market I wouldn't I have. Not a market I have right now. I don't think metal is one of the market I would invest in. Doesn't mean it's a bad investment. Doesn't mean it's a bad market. It's just not a market I understand perfectly. But if we took a look at that valuation metric, right, for both whatchamacallit, the STLD and WGO, it seems pretty cool. So any thoughts, Polly? Any thoughts on US debt ceiling coming up? No thoughts on it. Might pick up some reading on it though, Polly. Any recommendations on reading about that? That would definitely help out with knowledge. But David, I still enjoy them, right? I still like to see the markets, and we saw in forms of valuations, they don't look bad. I can definitely see why someone would have them in the portfolio for sure. Just because I don't like them doesn't mean I'm bearish on them. I can definitely respect investment in another style, and I can try to see why investors kind of want it. So SB, that that one's definitely right. We see DT right now is down 23.63% as we are talking. So there's not much to right now. It's just pretty scary. We see JD also down 4.2%. So the overall Chinese market is taking hit. I wonder why Amazon, did Amazon come out with any recent news? It's up about 3%, or is it just volatility? Let's see, Amazon new stock. On today, Amazon Bezos officially steps down as CEO, so that's pretty cool. Launches Amazon Connect Agent Desktop. That's actually pretty cool. I forgot it was happening, but I remember, right? June 30th was the last of the second quarter, so I'm guessing that's when the transition was happening. Now he's ready to go into space. So I mean, best of luck to the new CEO. SB, nothing, just rotation. Right, let's take a quick look at the maps. How's the map doing right now? Amazon still killing it, Apple still killing it. So big tech is the only thing that's really much up. Everything else is red. That's why sometimes, right, I feel like a lot of people don't own a lot of big tech companies because they're kind of fearful that, hey, these are going to be quiet. They really don't move much. But look, Apple is up and Amazon is up. Some of these big players just keep going. Microsoft, right? I think Microsoft just hit $2 trillion a few days ago. So definitely some cool stocks out there. So are there any other stocks you guys want to take a look at? Polyspace is the place. It's definitely interesting. Right now, we definitely have this space race going on, especially with Virgin Galactic and Amazon. That best of luck. I mean, it's gonna be pretty cool eventually. Hopefully, one day we can all afford a ticket to go into space. I would love to do that. At the moment, that's definitely something I can't do. What's going on, 30? Afternoon from west of Ireland. How's it going? Hope you had a great weekend. And yeah, I mean, hopefully the market's treating everybody okay today. Is there anything that's scaring you guys? Hopefully not. There should be nothing in the market that seems scary. We have Shopify. Shopify again breaking that 1500 price point, which I'm super excited about. We have Fiverr up 3%. It seems to be, I'm actually impressed to see Fiverr and Zoom up today. This is kind of weird. Are people kind of going back into working from home and kind of are realizing that these working from home stocks are not just working from home stocks, right? I do believe, for example, Fiverr, the overall freelance market is going to continue to grow, right? And I'm guessing investors are seeing that as well. Zoom, right? Even though people are going back to work, Zoom still shows potential of strong growth even after people are going back. So that pretty interesting for sure. It's interesting that Upwork isn't as up. What's going on, Fat Metal? How's it going? It's going pretty good for me. How's it going for you? Hope everything is going well. In the market, just taking a quick look at what's really moving right now. Minus, right, our big Chinese stocks. Tencent is really looking pretty good. I hope it stays like this for Thursday. Like I said, Thursday is when I purchase. This is gonna be one of my if it stays at this level, I can see this being one of my purchases this upcoming week. So Fat Meadow, you just sold your square position after the big rally today. Oh, nice. What are you planning on using those positions for, Fat Metal? And it's up 3% after right now. Is there a reason, if I may ask, you sold Fat Metal, or you just want to get into other positions? Or is there something you weren't liking about Square? That one's pretty interesting sell for sure. Adding more SoFi today. How is SoFi doing? I mean, I feel it's oh, nice. Right, this is what's so crazy about the stock market, right? It's everybody tends to be very quiet about the stock when it was at these levels, right? The $17. But then you start seeing the stock price just jump up like crazy. And yes, Shuba SB, I kind of mentioned that, right? About Tencent, how they have a lot of companies which are under the scrutiny in China. Very true. Very, very, very true. At the same time, I believe this kind of fearfulness is adding somewhat of buying opportunities. So Tencent, it's not a big position in my portfolio, right, SB? I don't mind increasing my exposure, right? I want to say Tencent is probably less than like 4% of my portfolio. I wouldn't mind getting it to like 3-4%. Chinese exposure won't ever reach over 15-20% of my portfolio. Right, so you said you had like Neo, Xpeng and something else, and that was like 45. Like for me, I would never get to those levels. At the same time, like something 5%, I think is controlling my risk, and in the long term of things, I don't mind having that kind of exposure, even though they are huge in the digital market, like you mentioned, right, SB. So a lot of their companies are going to be affected. That's why I'm hoping Thursday this a little bit of fear continues, giving me some better buying opportunities. At the moment, I have some Chinese stocks, not planning on selling any of them. Mainly sold like I was saying, right, SoFi. It was pretty quiet here. I feel like I barely heard anyone talk about this company. Then we start seeing this crazy rally up. Everybody talks about this. Everybody really talks about it now. Now that the stock price is down back to these levels of 17, I believe it's a good, compared to where it's at, a good buying opportunity. SoFi is one I wouldn't mind entering either. If it stays at these levels in the upcoming, by next week, SoFi can actually make it into my 4 to buy list for sure. Not for this week. This week I already got my set eyes on 4. But yeah, so SoFi is looking pretty good. Dirty. I thank you for adding this one. Let me. Oh, snap! I just lost my lights. Give me 1 second. Let me set this back up. All right. So got it. I need to manage it as well this time. Yeah. So SB, right? I don't. Sometimes I think risk management can help a long way. And everybody is different, right? Maybe for you, 40 or whatever it was, something percentage of in Chinese EV market works well for you. For me, it really wouldn't. But that's the thing, right? Everybody has their own financial and risk tolerance. And just because you do it your way, I don't think it's wrong, right? I wouldn't say what you did is wrong. I would just say it wouldn't work for me. And that's what everybody needs to remember. Every investor is different in form of mentality. So certain styles won't work for certain investors. So Fat Metal, yeah, my gut feeling just isn't great about Square. Rather buy higher convictions that are cheap, like China or Teladoc. Nice, right? So that's what you're very heavy on. Teladoc has been definitely, it's been a sleeper, right? I mean, I feel like people haven't talked about it, but since its bottom, it's made a nice turnaround story. I don't think I don't have it in my portfolio anymore. Do I not? Yes, I don't. Um, Pretty weird. Let's see a T-Doc, for example. So T-Doc, right? It's been everybody. It was quiet, and now it's kind of really picking back steam up. And SB, yeah, I've learned that recently only with China. Again, SB, I mean, and that kind of mentality or that kind of experience, you can kind of put on to everything, right? I mean, maybe it might be China, but then it might be like, hey, maybe I don't want to have 60% of my portfolio in software stocks. So you can kind of get from that experience and put it into other experiences as well, or other parts in your portfolio. Fat Meadow, I think you missed the first part of my explanation for my sell. Oh, mainly sold because it isn't a big conviction to me. Also, oh, okay, yep, all right, there we go. I did miss it. Yeah, it isn't a big conviction. That's a great, I mean, if it isn't good reason to sell to some extent, right? Definitely focus on better companies like you said in the second point. Also, the correlation to Bitcoin isn't great for me. Yes, that's actually true, right? I mean, I think Square doesn't move too much with crypto. It definitely has, but it has some form of correlation. I think it's not as big as some other companies out there, right? Like MicroStrategy, right? MicroStrategy is it's one that I feel moves completely with crypto. Another one is Mogul, right? Mogul, I feel, moves completely with crypto. But yeah, crypto correlation is a big part. SB, so you need to spread across different sectors, and at the same time, SB is like it's different for every investor. Sometimes too many sectors can be bad. All right, I only invest in a few sectors, mainly in the tech, but there's only a few sectors. I do believe, again, diversification, but at the same time some form of concentration. So a mixture of both, and that's super hard to really grasp, but that's how I pretty much do it. I do diversification within many stocks, but very concentration within certain markets. Yeah, MicroStrategy is basically a Bitcoin holding company now. So guys, is there any stocks you guys want me to take a look at right now? F is dropping. Oh wow, that one's actually, I do think today we saw, I forget, automobile, let me see, automobile chip shortage. Oops, wrong chip shortage. There was one today, yes. So chip shortage puts brakes on UK's new car sales despite jump from 2020. It was with Tata. I forgot there was a company today. So yeah, this was a recent. So Tata Motors JLR, Jaguar Land Rover. Oh, I didn't know Jaguar makes Land Rover. That's actually brand new for me. So they expect chip shortage to worsen in Q2. Shares fall. So I do believe this is a good reason why F is dropping today. David Becker, right? We see some more big players, even though Ford has mentioned it already, right? Ford mentioned it on their earnings presentations a few months ago that hey, we're gonna be very very bad this upcoming quarter due to short chip shortage. Today we see some other big names come out and saying that the shortage in the quarter ending September to be greater than in the preceding 3 months, hurting sales just when demand for Tata's luxury cars started improving in key markets. GM2. So yeah, I want to say stuff like this is really going to affect overall just everything from Ford to GM and everything else. So the chip shortage definitely a big problem. So it says that it said it would result in wholesale volume about 50% lower than planned in the second quarter. Some level or shortage will continue throughout the end of the year and beyond. And I mean, I think Ford. Let's take a quick look. Ford Investors Relations. They really much mentioned this. They mentioned this on their latest presentation. Let's see. They probably would have it here. Let's see. Let me just do. Let me see if I can find it. Sorry if I'm moving too fast for you guys. Okay, they didn't mention it here, but they slides on here. They gave guidance. I know they gave guidance. Earnings. Yo, they used a lot of presentations. Man, this is insane. 51 metrics. Key takeaways. Nope. Man, I know Ford mentioned it. They mentioned it somewhere that the chip shortage was gonna affect them really bad. Oh, perspective on so global chip shortage. Ford lost about 200K units or 17% of planned production in quarter one. Outlook assumes about 50% of planned production lost in quarter two. So, I mean, kind of Ford already mentioned this, but I think investors forget. Investors really forget. And now that Tata came out that, hey, quarter two was pretty bad, it just reminds other investors that, hey, maybe Ford will do bad. But, hey, this kind of news was already kind of given to us. Still, I do believe the stock price was a bit overextended. So that's also another reason, right? Overextension, I do believe there's reasons for the stock to pull back. But Ford is one of the few ones I like, not in my account, but one I don't mind for sure. So guys, is there any other stocks you guys want me to take a look at? Feel free to make any. I'll take a look at technicals, fundamentals, and just give my overall thoughts on a company. Feel free to post on the comments. And guys, while you're here, make sure to hit that thumbs up. It really does help with the overall channel. I will say, let's see, David Becker, what you say. You will say, let me take a quick drink while that comes up. I will say you got in pretty low, so my ad, nice. Yeah, I know a few people were purchasing this. It's crazy. Just a few in April. It was at $3, below $4. Right now, it's already up, what, 300, 200, over 200%. Ford has definitely been a great stock investment-wise for companies. That potential, again, is a wow. For Ford. Oh yeah, for sure. All right, guys. So if no one has any other stocks, I am gonna go work on some more videos. Definitely pretty cool. It's pretty interesting to see the semiconductor shortage still kind of really affecting the automobile market. We took a few hits on the Chinese market. That's probably a video I am gonna do within the upcoming hours. Fat Metal. Let's take a quick look at Melly. So Melly, all right, for you, Fat Metal. A bit overextended, right? In form of fundamentals, Fat Metal, I have talked about this in the past. I've actually done a few videos on Melly. Two videos that I really enjoyed. Melly was one, I think I was in my buy list 2 days ago. 2 weeks ago, so for sure. I mean, was it 2 weeks ago? Let's see. Yeah, actually, yeah. So on June 26th, my video on June 26th, I talked about Melly. So definitely, my overall thoughts on Melly. The second one, Fat Metal, is here. I actually did a video of how Melly is doing so great in Latin America. So this is how C is kind of really growing in Latin America, but in my opinion, Melly is light years away. Melly I do like right now. I have a big exposure in C for those reasons. Yeah, the worrying thing is how much market share Shopee can take away from them. So I don't know if you saw this one. Copy link address. I'll post this video. I kind of talk about some of there. You might have watched it already, Fat Metal, but I don't think Melly C has much right now for this year. Next year, I don't think C is a competition. Um, Maybe later on C is. I still enjoy C, right? C is a tier 1 stock for me. Melly is not. But I don't think Melly has. I don't think Melly has anything to worry about in Latin America right now from either C or I would think more from Alibaba than C. Alibaba is another one there. I haven't done that video, but Alibaba definitely took a hit. I posted a comment on that video. Yeah, so I think you might have watched it already. So guys, I am done for the day. Snaproo, I'll take a look at DD. I'm actually doing a video on it. So guys, take care. Have a good day and see you tomorrow around the same time.